Welcome in to Fired Up episode 17. We got a lot to talk about. We have preseason football to talk about. We'll get to that a little later. Dom, what's up, man? How was Boston?
Unbelievable.
It looked like you guys had a great time.
Incredible.
What was Fenway like? Everything you could imagine and all that.
Even more.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Just pulling up to Fenway. I don't know how familiar you are with Boston and
I'm not at all.
Fenway at all. I'll try to keep this short and simple, but it's literally in the middle of the city, so you're looking around at skyscrapers, and then there's the Massachusetts Turnpike, and like it's crazy, man. It's like they block off streets. It's crazy. It's you walk into Fenway, it looks just like Field of Dreams in the movie when he goes to Fenway.
Right.
It's old, but you walk out and man, it just hits you in the face, and it's beautiful.
That's awesome.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it looked like you guys had a real good time. I was real upset I couldn't go. It was a big bummer, but
we picked a good game too. It was a lot of fun.
They scored a ton of runs too. I saw it was 8-1 at one point. I don't know what the final was.
I believe that was the final.
That was the final?
Yeah.
Yeah, while you were doing that, I was watching the Phillies get their ass kicked on a Zach Wheeler start.
I'm sorry I had to deal with that.
Right, yeah, no, I actually went to the game. We got tickets last second.
Cool.
Yeah, so I was there. So yeah, I mean, you got to see a lot better. You have a lot better of a weekend than me watching this goddamn Phillies team lose series to the Reds. But you did bring it up, and I did want to mention it. I did want to talk about it. How awesome was that Field of Dreams game?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was watching the Eagles preseason, but just seeing the highlights and like the way that it ended was just. It was magical. The fireworks.
Absolutely.
I'm a big Tim Anderson fan, and I'm rooting for both Sox this year for the AL. So Red Sox, White Sox. So it's always good to see them pull out the win, and just the fireworks at the end were crazy. The jerseys were awesome.
Oh yeah.
I had read somewhere that it was the most watched game in like 16 years, like regular season game.
I believe it. I mean, the only thing that I wish they would have done is not have it on like a Thursday night. Like make that like Sunday Night Baseball would have been really cool.
Yeah, and I understood why they did that because they came back to New York or Chicago or New York, whoever it was. I think it was Chicago, right?
Well, I don't remember. Yeah. It would have been Chicago. Yeah.
So I believe they came back to Chicago to play the rest of the series. So I think they needed a day off or something. I don't know. It was something weird, but. No, I agree. They could have ended the series at the Field of Dream site, but
yeah, that would have been cool. Just a Sunday Night Baseball game instead of like a random Thursday in August. You know what I mean?
Right.
But so I mean, it was cool. Kevin Costner being there, introducing everybody. The players walking out from the corn. It was just a cool. Cool. Go ahead.
Can I also just say how much I hate Alex Rodriguez? I don't know if you saw any of like his pregame thing. Like,
and I didn't.
I'd like to hit him with a truck.
Okay, well, let's just get it all out now. This is therapy. Tell me your hatred towards Alex Rodriguez.
I don't know. I just don't like him. He made me hate J-Lo.
Now, does it stem from his playing days or his announcer days, or a combination of both?
No, guess what? I actually don't think he's a bad announcer. I mean, I don't like cheaters, but that's not even why I hate him. He's a punch the face guy for me. So
he's got a punchable face.
And dude, he did a lot of work to his face. I mean, Jesus Christ. But
I mean, hey, you got money. That's what you do.
Yeah, I guess. But
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw him it wasn't for the game. It was like the pregame show. Like he was the one that like had the hat backwards with the old jersey, and like he was going through the cornfields, and I was like, my God, I hope something like an asteroid hits him or something like.
Well, he's got to make it about himself. You know that,
right? That's why I don't like him.
Right. I get it.
And he made me hate J-Lo.
How can you hate J-Lo?
It was very hard. So.
But that's our Alex Rodriguez hate for the week.
No more. No LeBron. We're just gonna talk about. Aaron.
No, you had to bring his name in somewhere, right? LeBron. We'll bring it back. So yeah, man. Before I want to get into the Phillies, because it seems like I don't even know. They're just treading water at this point. They hopefully haven't easier month, out of everybody else in their division, or at least the Braves and the Mets, over the next month and a half. But we'll get to those in a second. I just want to talk about let's talk about Field of Dreams. Let's talk about sports movies in general. All right, because I think this is an interesting topic. What are some of your favorite? I guess you could say baseball or even just sports movies in general. Just your top 5, top 10. I don't know how you want to do this.
Yeah, man, I'm ready to go. I got a top 10. I got on the cusp. So do you want me to give you on the cusp, or you want me to go to top 10? I'll be quick.
You can do on the cusp. That's fine.
All right, so a couple of them. I mean, it's really hard to put like comedies in the top 10 for me.
Oh, wait, let's just write off the top 10. That's fine.
Okay.
If that's what you want to do.
Yeah. Okay. So,
I thought you said you had honorable mentions you wanted to name first.
No, yeah, I did.
Okay, yeah, then do those. That's fine.
But I'm just saying, like, a lot of it was really hard to put like comedies, like straight comedies, in a top 10 movie, like top 10 favorite sports movie or favorite sports movies. But
right.
Just some of them, like real quick, Caddyshack, Happy Gilmore, Talladega Nights, like Longest Yard, 61.
Do we count?
Hoosiers.
Do we count Talladega Nights as a sports movie?
For sure.
It's $1 million question.
If Happy Gilmore's a sports movie, well, look, you have the people that say NASCAR's not a sport, but technically it is. I don't disagree with that, but technically it is.
I guess so.
61, and then literally number 11 was A League of Their Own for me. So, that was just like, that was really hard not to put in top 10 because I loved it.
Spoiler alert, that's number 10 for me.
Okay. So here's my top 10. I have number 10, Moneyball. Number 9, Rocky. I know that's a little low.
Okay.
Number 8, The Mighty Ducks.
Okay.
Number 7, which might be a little shocker to people, 42.
A great movie.
Number 6, my favorite basketball movie ever, Glory Road.
I've never seen it.
You should watch that one.
Okay.
Number 5, Major League, even though it is a comedy.
Yep. It's a terrific movie, though.
It's tremendous. It's just lines, reciting lines after
absolutely
one another. Number 4, The Sandlot.
Okay.
Now, The Sandlot and The Mighty Ducks are like, they're not great movies. They're just
brings
things
back
that
to
you
the
grow up
childhood.
with. Yeah, things you grow up with.
They're nostalgic. Like when they're like, I haven't watched Sandlot in a while, but I did watch Mighty Ducks not too long ago, and I'm like, man, this is kind of cool because like I grew up watching it, but like this is a shitty movie.
Right.
It's a terrible movie.
It's like Space
it doesn't
Jam,
hold
like
up.
we said. It's like Space Jam, like we said before.
Yeah, that's true.
The old Space Jam, the original.
Right.
Now the top 3. Number 3 might surprise you. I said this before we started the show that it might surprise you a little bit. It's not going to surprise you because it's a good movie, but being number 3 on my list. And again, this is also something I watched when I was a kid a lot. I could probably recite every line just like from The Sandlot, but number 3 I have Miracle.
Okay.
Phenomenal
movie.
Yeah, I mean it's great. Number 2, Field of Dreams, obviously, and number 1, Remember the Titans. Number 1 and number 2 are very interchangeable for me. One day it could be a Thursday and I'd love Field of Dreams. It's my favorite sports movie. Then Friday it could be Remember the Titans. You know what I mean? Very very interchangeable. Right. But as of today, Remember the Titans is probably number 1.
Okay, it's a good list. It's a solid list. Would you say 10 and 11 were? It was what was 10? Because you had 11 not Field of Dreams, A League of Their Own. What was number 10? What came
number
in
10 was
10?
Moneyball.
Moneyball, because I was gonna say I think we had them flip flop. Moneyball was on the outside looking in at like the 11th spot, so that's funny. We had them flip flopped. I mean, I could run down.
Yeah, real quick, but they're. I was looking at lists today, and I'm like shocked how many like sports movies I haven't seen. Like, I have never seen Caddyshack. I've never seen Raging Bull. Like, great sports movies. White Man Can't Jump. I really have to get going on that.
Yeah, I'm sure you can find them somewhere now. Hulu, Netflix, all the streaming services now. There's somewhere to be found.
No, for sure. Now give me your list.
Okay, this probably has a couple movies you've maybe never seen. At least one you've probably never seen.
I know what it is.
Do you? We'll get to it. So number 10, I have A League of Their Own. It's just all around a great movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Number 9, and this is probably low. This might be a hot take. Field of Dreams, number 9 for me. It was just parts of it, and maybe that was kind of the idea of it. Some of it was just corny, like, and I don't think Kevin Costner was that great. Like, the story was good, the sentimental of it was good around the movie, but like,
here's the thing. I think I know why it's low on your list. You played baseball growing up, but your main sport was hockey. So
Yeah.
growing up, my main sport I played 8 months of the year. Aside from the freezing cold weather, was baseball. Like I played travel baseball, you played travel hockey. So it's like, I kind of understand it. It definitely hits me a little bit different probably than you.
Yeah. And it probably shows on my list because I have 3 of my top 5 are hockey movies.
Right. Exactly. Makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah. So number 8, I have The Natural.
Yeah. That's a movie I saw a while ago and I have to watch again.
It's a tremendous. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I used to love it.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch it again soon. Number 7, The Sandlot. Same
Okay.
reasons as you. Number 6, Remember the Titans.
Okay.
Number 5, Slapshot.
Okay. Not surprised.
Yeah, great movie. Just
Again,
funny.
I have
just,
to I have
it's a
to watch
riot.
that. Yeah.
Have you ever seen it?
I've seen parts of it. Maybe I've seen a lot of it when I was young, but I certainly don't remember it. I know the opening scene to the movie, and that's
Yeah.
probably about it.
Go back if you could find it, watch it.
Yeah.
Because just everything about it just is nostalgic to the time period that the movie was made. Obviously, that it wasn't fabricated. Like that was actual like hockey going
Right.
on. But it was a riot. Number 4, Major.
No,
Go ahead.
real quick, I'll have to watch it and give a review like you did for Space Jam. Maybe I'll
Absolutely.
try to watch it before next week's show. But go ahead.
All right, yeah, let's do. We'll try to find it somewhere. Number 4, Major League.
Okay.
Number 3, Rocky.
Okay.
And number 2, Miracle.
Okay. I think I know what number 1 is.
Okay.
Go ahead. You can say it.
It's probably a movie that anybody listening probably has no idea and never even heard of it, but it's just my all-time favorite movie, Mystery Alaska.
Okay. I knew it. It's funny because I looked up a couple lists today just to get an idea of like what other people thought. I made my top 10 and then I kind of looked. It was on a couple. It was on a couple.
Was it
top
really?
30, top 50. Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Really?
it wasn't top 10,
No,
but
never.
it was around 25, 30, 35 on a lot of lists.
It's a movie not many people have heard about,
Right.
but it's about this team from a small town in Alaska who play pickup hockey every Saturday. They're good enough to rival the New York Rangers, and the New York Rangers come and play on their pond in Alaska, and it's a real good like feel good type movie, but it's funny. It's a little corny. It can get corny, I'll admit,
Right.
but I just love that movie. It's awesome.
It's kind of hard to not get corny with sports movies.
Yeah,
I feel like
that's
depending
true.
on the situation, like they're like, especially Disney movies. I know it's probably not Disney, but like 42.
I forget
had
who
some
made it, but
corny
it's not
moments.
Well, I also maybe 42 is obviously a bad example of what I'm about to say, but like a lot of the movies that are fabricated or are an original story aren't like are more corny. Like if you look at like Miracle is obviously a true story. To me, there's nothing corny about, and it's a Disney movie.
I
There's nothing corny.
completely agree.
Yeah, there's
I
nothing
completely
corny
agree.
about Miracle at all, and it's 100% like fact. That's exactly what happened, and it was just done beautifully.
Dude, and just going to Boston this past weekend, like everybody there, like I thought it was like a fake thing, like all these people that have the accent, and like it's literally everybody has the Boston accent, like
The Boston.
yeah, and literally like there's like 4 or 5 guys in Miracle who hit the Boston accent, like O'Callahan, right? He
Yep.
it's amazing, like it was a great movie though. One of my favorite scenes is when he gets hurt. O'Callahan, right?
Mhm.
He gets hurt. He's on the crutches and they're on the ice. And
Yep.
and Herb comes out and he tells him he's gonna play. And he
tells him he tells him he's not cutting him.
Right, right.
Because I think they said he could play in a week, maybe 2. If it's 2, I got a tough decision to make, right? But you worked this hard. I'm gonna hold on to you. We'll see if you can play in 2 weeks. But it's basically how it went.
right.
Yeah. So
And I just like putting his crutches up in the air and screaming. That's one of my favorite.
gave you
scenes in the movie.
chills. Gave you
Yeah.
chills. Yeah.
Actually, what's funny is I went to an art school. So for high school, I went to a performing arts high school, and I went for theater. And we had to have 3 monologues on audition, and I did the Herb Brooks speech.
Did you?
Yeah, I
The one
did.
in the locker room.
Yep.
That's. I mean, that's like an all-time movie like
Oh,
scene.
for sure, for sure,
You know.
for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, you got anything else sports movies wise before we head into the Phillies?
No, just that like I said, there's a lot of movies I have to watch. Caddyshack, Raging Bull, um, The Natural again. I have to watch even like Bull Durham. I haven't seen in a really long time. The Fighter I heard was great. Cinderella Man, like there's a
Cinderella Man was
long list.
phenomenal. I almost put that on my list. Cinderella Man I thought was terrific.
Yeah, there's
Even even
for the love
Southpaw I
of the
thought was
game.
pretty. It's for love of game is there's too much of a love story. Like the story itself's cool, like the baseball aspect of it.
Right.
There's too much of a love story in there that I really kind of didn't love. But you just said one that I just blanked on. I forget what it was. I will move on. It's fine. But there was another one that you said. Whatever.
Oh, so you said Southpaw.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There you go. All right. See, I thought Southpaw was good with
haven't
Jake
seen that
Gyllenhaal
either.
and I forget who else is in that.
Right.
Okay, but yeah, no, that was good. I'm trying to think of movies off the top here.
And there's those corny movies that you love to watch when there's nothing on. It's a Saturday night. The Rookie. You know what I mean? Like those corny movies.
Rookie of the Year. How did I not put Rookie of the Year on my list?
Rookie of the Year. That's what it is. Not the Rookie.
Well, the Rookie
Well, the
the one
Rookie
with,
is a movie, right?
It is. I
He's like a
forget.
40-year-old rookie. That was a good movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was corn. I forget who that was that
What,
played
Rookie of the
whatever.
Year?
Rookie. I know Rookie of the Year. I know who that was. I forget who
Yeah.
the rookie was. But whatever, we're moving on. But yeah, no, Rookie of the Year is a phenomenal movie. Henry
actually-
Rowan Gardner, and it's
Right.
great.
I actually have a question for you real quick before we move on. I know we're trying
Okay.
to get to the Phillies and stuff.
That's fine.
So Kevin Costner is probably the greatest, sports movie guy ever. Sports movie actor. He did
I don't know about
Yeah,
like. He's been in the most, I guess.
Right,
Is what you could
right.
say. Yeah, he's cornered that market for sure.
Bull Durham, Draft Day, the
I
Field of
forgot about
Dreams.
Draft Day. Yeah,
Just long list. He's
for the
Hall
love of the
Fame.
game. Yeah.
Right. He's Hall of Fame sports movie guy. Do you think Adam Sandler is a sports Hall of Fame guy? Like sports movie Hall of Fame guy? Happy Gilmore, The Water Boy, Longest Yard. There's a couple more. I can't think off the top of my head, but it's like a discussion that goes around.
He was in Uncut Gems, which like
well, yeah,
I don't know if you could really call that a basketball movie because it
Right.
was more a betting movie that happened to feature basketball.
fuck it, we'll throw it in.
Yeah, why not? I just don't think of Adam Sandler as like a sports movie actor. Like I forgot about most of the movies you just named. Like Happy Gilmore is a golf. I guess is a movie about golf, but it's a comedy in the sense that like I don't think of it as a sports movie. I just think of it as a goofy, feel good, like just funny movie.
Right,
Does that make sense?
for sure.
So I just don't think of it as a sports movie, even though it probably is. But
No,
Yeah,
I
I
just
don't-
wanted to get your take.
yeah, I don't know if I wouldn't consider him that. No, and maybe because he's done a whole bunch of other stuff, and you think of Adam Sandler as something different.
Right.
I don't really put him into that echelon.
And not to get too much into it more, but he's definitely Happy Gilmore's definitely a top 3 Adam Sandler movie for me. But yeah,
Well, I mean, that could be a
So-
whole nother list.
I already have it. So
you're already ready.
I already have it on my phone.
There you go.
The pandemic was rough.
Exactly.
I made lists.
Made lists. That's all.
I
That's
made
all you did.
lists.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, let's get into the Phillies.
Quarantine was tough.
Let's get into the Phillies. Lost one to the Reds, 2 out of 3 after losing 2 out of 3 to the Dodgers. It seems like with the next like maybe 12 games or so that the Mets have on their schedule, because they play I think they just got done a 3-game set with the Dodgers. Then they play 3 I think with the Giants. Then I think 4 more with the Dodgers, and then 3 more with the Giants.
Right.
It's insane. So they're probably their schedule's tough moving on. So it seems like it's going to really come down to the Braves and Phillies. I mean,
Yeah.
What's your take?
Hopefully.
Yeah,
They won 8 straight, and then they played the Dodgers, and I don't think anybody expected them to sweep. Honestly, I really didn't expect them to win the series. They went 1 of 2, and then honestly, I think you had to win the Red Series, and they just didn't do it. I missed the game Friday, obviously. I was at Fenway.
Yep.
Saturday, we actually had gotten back from something we did. We did a tour and we got back. We had saw on the subway. We're on the subway coming back that, oh shit, Matt Moore has a no hitter. So we went back and we had watched the game. The rest of the game, we got it on TV somehow. And Archie Bradley comes out, and one of my buddies said, I forget who it was. Somebody said, yeah, I love Archie Bradley, but I don't like him in this spot. And he gave up the hit. And they wind up winning the game. It was a great slide by Brad Miller at home. I don't know if he meant to do it on purpose to slide the way that he did. It might have just been his body, the way it,
Probably,
went.
yeah.
And
What
then,
was your take?
ahead.
What was your take on Girardi pulling it away for pulling who was it, Moore, after being, having no hits after 6 innings? What was your take on that?
I don't know because I didn't watch the game. Like, I didn't watch the first 4 or 5 innings.
Right.
So, well, he was only at what, like 70-something pitches? at
Yeah,
that
it wasn't
point?
high. It wasn't high. Like, my personal take is I don't think I would have done it in that situation. Yeah, I think you got the guy who's having a no-hitter. He's clearly locked in, right? Let him go until you see reason to pull him. But at the same time, I understand it because it's Matt fucking Moore.
Right.
And the next inning, he could have let up 4. Like, that's just
Right.
who he is. So I
Right.
understand the decision. I probably just would have done something different.
So it was a 1-0 game, right? At that point?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that's why, in my opinion. Again, I
be.
didn't watch the game, so I don't know how. I don't know if he was striking guys out and he really wasn't being touched. I don't know if he was just getting guys to hit the ball in the right spots. I don't know, but with a 1-0 game with Matt Moore on the mound, it's probably not the worst idea in the world to have a bullpen come in.
Right.
If it's a 4-0 game, fuck it.
Right.
Just let guys warm up every half inning, and you ride it out with Matt Moore. But I think Girardi was a little worried. It seems like Girardi was a little worried that it was only a 1-0 game. So
Yeah, I'm looking at his stat
I
line
believe
now
it was
more.
a 1-0 game.
It was a 1-0 game. They ended up blowing things open. Yeah, it was 1-0.
And then it was 3-0.
No, I lied. It was 1-0.
It was 1-0. Then it was 3-0, and then I think the first hit was a
It
homer.
ended up being 6-1 was the final.
Right. It was
but-
3-0, and then they hit a homer, to break the no hitter, and then the Phillies scored 3 more. I believe.
But 6 innings pitched, no hits, no earned runs, obviously, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts.
All right, 8 strikeouts through 6 isn't terrible.
It's
that's
pretty good. Yeah,
especially
for Matt Moore.
but-
Yeah, I mean, you're not expecting that from Matt Moore.
right.
You know what I mean?
But I think
So,
honestly, I think if it was a 3-4, 5-0 game, they would have let him ride it out.
yeah, that's possible.
It's funny because I had said to somebody, we was like the second, or it was like the 4th inning. We were on the subway coming back, and somebody had said, "Oh, Matt Moore's throwing a no hitter," or no, I'm sorry, it was we were going somewhere on the subway, and we said, "Oh, I'd probably rather have Velasquez than Matt Moore pitch." We come back on the subway. We're coming back on the subway, and it's the 4th inning, fifth inning, and he's got a no hitter. Like, it was like, oh shit! Like
That sounds
we just
about
said
right.
we'd rather have Vince Velasquez, but this guy's throwing a no hitter.
Yep.
So
So I guess, is it too early to scoreboard watch? I'm watching the scores right now, and the Atlanta's up 10-2 to the Marlins. So they're gonna create a little bit of separation.
seems like it.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
what are the Phillies' chances to make the playoffs legitimately? Do you think?
Well, they have to win the division.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Obviously.
They're not. I'm saying they're not going to get in as a wild card.
No chance.
Tatis coming back. It's tough to make it as a wild card.
Yep.
I don't know. I guess baseball's such a weird sport. Like, it's a very hot and cold. It's a long sport. It's a long game. It's a long season. So it's a game of stretches. They're 2 games. They're 1 game right now, right?
I just had it up. Hold on. Yeah, they
They'll
are
be,
one
they'll
game.
be there'll be 2 games tonight. If
They'll be
Atlanta
1.5
wins.
tonight.
1.5 tonight.
1.5.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's 1.5. It's August. Can they come out and pull out another 10 wins? Probably. Can they come out and lose 10? Probably. So it's they're a 500 team still, in my eyes, in a sense. But like, I mean, let's keep going. Let's still have confidence in this team.
Yeah, and I'm looking at their schedule. Maybe it's a little too early to be breaking down their whole entire schedule from here on out. But like I'm looking, they play
It's fairly
Arizona.
easy.
They play Arizona, San Diego. Okay, San Diego's a good team. Tampa Bay, Arizona again, Washington, Miami, Milwaukee, who Milwaukee is a good team. I'll give that to them.
Right.
Colorado stinks. Chicago stinks. Mets are probably going to be out of it by that time. Baltimore stinks. Pittsburgh stinks. Atlanta, Miami. I mean, that's the final stretch is Atlanta and Miami. But like, out of those teams, what playoff team do you see? I mean, Atlanta and Milwaukee
Atlanta,
and San
Milwaukee.
Diego.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you got to win the games that you're supposed to win.
exactly.
That's the trick, which they should have done this weekend.
Right. Exactly.
So I don't know, man. We'll see.
That is the weird thing about baseball, though, is like Zach Wheeler, who's up for a Cy Young this year potentially, gets shelled and doesn't look like himself one day, and against the very next team, Matt Moore throws 6 hitless innings.
Right. Dude.
Makes no
It's a
sense.
game. It's a game of stretches. It's a game of being
Yep.
hot and cold. It's
Yeah, absolutely.
182 games a year. I mean, you play in the hot and you play in the cold weather. So it's finding your groove. It's not easy hitting 300. It's not. Like that's why only 10 or 15 guys do it every year. So
Speaking of hot and cold, Bryce Harper seems like he's slowing down a little bit. The average is creeping down, probably close to the 290 range. I think it got up as high as 303, 304. So
He-
what's going on? Go ahead. Sorry.
he's at 297 right now.
It did go up again. Okay.
Yeah, he's
At
at
one point,
297.
okay, at one point I saw it went down, it creeped down to like 292, 293.
Right.
Okay, so it did go back up. Okay, yeah, so he's hovering right around 300, but it seems like he has cooled off a little bit. He's still showing some pop, obviously, but I mean, is he out of the, or is he even in it? Was he ever in it? The MVP talk? Do you think? Is he
No,
in it?
I think
yeah.
he for sure is. That's the difference between the AL and NL. The NL, I mean, I think it's not that it's wide open, but
I think it's a
there for
one
him
horse
to
race
take.
personally. I think it's a one horse race.
Well, before we say that name, I do want to say because I know who you're talking about, but I do want to say that it's a lot more open than the AL. Like the AL top 5 guys are just raking. Like the NL, I don't think DeGrom's gonna win because
He's missed way too much time.
right.
Yeah.
He's been unbelievable, but he's been hurt.
Yeah, he's missed way too much time. If he only missed a month or two, I could understand giving it to him. If he came back and was still the
Right.
same, he's missed way too much time at this point to even
Right.
consider him. Honestly,
Right. So I think if he could get hot again and continue this, get those RBIs up, get those homers up, and that average up, I think there's a chance. I do. If you would have asked me last week, I would have said you're crazy if you don't think he's the MVP. But that was because the other guy was hurt. So
and looked like he could have been done for the year a week
right,
ago.
and now he's playing
And-
right
and-
field.
Right, and Fernando Tatis Jr. Who we're talking about, obviously, but. I mean, what he's doing is stupid. And then he came back in his first game and just hit casually 2 home runs, a double. He's insane.
He's crazy.
So I think it's his to lose, honestly, at this point.
To me, there's 3 guys in the NL right now. It's Bryce Harper. Like I said, 297, 21 homers, 49 RBIs. Tatis, who I think
I know real quick, I know that Harper missed a little bit of time, but like 49 RBIs. What's his pace right now? Probably 70 to 75 RBI. Is the MVP guy really going to get 70 RBIs? Like, I don't see that. I mean, and that's probably being aggressive by saying he's going to get 70, 75. He might not.
right.
You know what I mean? Like
So-
an MVP guy getting less than 70 RBIs
No,
doesn't happen. I don't think.
That's a fair argument.
Yeah.
I think they do take into consideration the fact that he was hurt a little bit and he does not. So, did I give you the crazy stat? I can't remember if I said it on here or not.
I don't remember.
So there's a crazy stat I heard last week or the week before that there are 175 or 178 guys in the league that have had more opportunities with guys on base than Bryce Harper. That's 6. It's an average of 6 guys on a team per team.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we could sit here and say that he has had opportunities with guys on base. He's had over maybe 120 plate appearances with guys on base. But I still think you have to take into consideration that there has to be guys in front of him to get the RBIs. He's only got 21 homers. That's 21 of the 49 are solo homers. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be tough. It is. McCutchen won with under 100 RBIs. I know a lot of people say he shouldn't have won MVP, but is it impossible? No. Is it going to happen? Probably not because of Tatis. But
Yeah,
I'm hopeful.
Tatis has what 15 less at bats than Harper,
Right.
and has 74 RBIs.
Right, he's hitting 300, 33 homers, 74 RBIs. But
Yeah,
But honestly, if he wins the MVP, it's great. But I'm not gonna be like upset. Like if they make the playoffs, I'll be perfectly fine. Like I just want this team to make the playoffs. I want them to experience the playoffs. I want to experience playoffs. I don't care if they get swept in the first round.
Do you think?
How unbelievable would it be to wake up on a crisp October Sunday, watch the
Yep.
Birds at 1, and then the Phillies come on at 7? Like that would be crazy.
Yeah,
Like we experienced that from 07 to 11. Like
it wasn't very long.
I want that
yeah.
feeling again.
Absolutely. Do you think they can make noise in the playoffs though? Like, legitimately?
It depends because they're a hot team and then they're a cold team and then they're a hot team and then they're a cold team. Any team, baseball and hockey are the two sports that any team can win. It's just if hockey's a very much underdog, and where baseball, it's like if you get hot and you go, like you can go. Like look at 2011, 2011. They won 102 games, and then
Yep.
St. Louis came in here and kicked their ass. Like
Yeah,
because St.
pretty
Louis
much.
was the wild card team, and they got hot, and they went to
Yeah.
the World Series. Like
I think they
So,
won it, didn't they? Didn't they win
not-
the World Series?
maybe did they win in 2011? Yeah, they beat the Rangers.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, so they went off and won a World Series like as a
Right.
wild card team, and it's just like a game about being hot. And if they can get hot the last week of September and they're still in it and they win the division, who knows? Maybe they can win a series or two. I don't know.
I think if
Is
they
it
go up,
realistic? Probably not. But
well, I think if they go up against a team like Milwaukee, I think they can win. Sure.
Me too.
They could definitely beat Milwaukee. I think.
Milwaukee. What about the Giants? Do you think if they played the Giants, do you think they could possibly beat the Giants? I don't know if they can.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, to me, I still look at the Giants roster and I'm like, how are they so good? I don't understand it. I don't understand where they're getting their success from. Gosman or whatever the hell his name is like, I don't know if he still is, was a Cy Young candidate a few weeks ago. Like, I don't know where they're getting all this production from. Gabe Kapler somehow is doing great things over there, even though I still don't know how much a manager really does in an everyday, setting in baseball. But still, they've surprised me. But their lineup just tells me, yeah, the Phillies can definitely win a series against them. But I think where it stops, I think is LA. I mean, LA is just all around, is an all-star team. They're just dominant all around.
Right. Well, that's the thing. I like I said, I don't care if they lose in 3 in the first series. You know what I mean? I don't.
Right.
I just want playoff baseball. I mean, I'll be disappointed. I want to see them win, obviously, but like, I just want playoff baseball. I want Red October.
Well, yeah. You want playoff baseball because, like, that again, we've said it before. We said it in the past. That was the expectation when you give Bryce Harper $330 million. It's to compete and be in the playoffs essentially every year.
Right, and building a team around them.
Exactly, and you give these young guys some playoff experience. Alec Boehm, I know he's a mess right now. At this point, I wouldn't even really play him down the stretch. Like I think. What are your thoughts on Alec Boehm? Like, just give it to me. I'm curious what you have to say about the Alec Boehm thing.
Okay, so I think people need to relax. I do. I
agree.
I think, yes, he's terrible defensively. Is he a third baseman? Probably not. Is he a first baseman? Probably not, because he doesn't hit well enough to be a first baseman. But I think people need to relax. Now, I'm gonna bring up a stats for you real quick, and I'm going to read your stats, and you're gonna tell me who you think this baseball player is. Okay?
Okay, a current player?
No, not a current player. So,
okay.
so this player, right, played 13 games his first year. So obviously it was his second year. Technically, it was still his rookie year.
Okay.
With 443 plate appearances in his technical second year, but still rookie year, 367 at bats, he hit 18 homers, 52 RBIs, and hit 196.
Okay.
Now, arguably one of the greatest baseball players ever. Okay, I'm not really telling you to guess it, but
I was just saying. I mean, you just gave me 1 year. Like, how am I supposed to guess that? I'm gonna guess Albert Pujols. I don't know.
So,
Yeah.
so like I said, 18 homers, 52 RBIs, 196. The following year, he hit 36 homers, 116 RBIs, and 282. Right? This player is Mike Schmidt.
Okay.
I'm not saying Alec Bohm is Mike Schmidt. I'm not saying he's anything close to Mike Schmidt. I'm just saying that you need to give baseball players time. Like all these people that trade Bohm and get rid of Bohm and
Yeah, I think that's
he
insane.
stinks and this, that, and the other. Relax. Everybody needs to relax. Not
I-
you. I'm just saying.
No, I
everybody.
agree. I agree. But at the same time, like you're in the middle of trying to win a division. I wouldn't play him right now. Like I don't think he's a player every day right now. You try to grow him. Like he's still young. I mean, he's a little older than I thought. He was like 25, but still for baseball, that's still incredibly young. You don't play him now because I think you're getting more out of Torreyes, and Galvis when he comes back. So,
Right.
so I mean, you just have other options that are more reliable for a team trying to win the division.
Right.
But in the off season, you work with him. You try to get better. See what he has come spring. See what he
Right.
has, next April. Like,
And I definitely don't disagree with that. I'm
Yeah.
just saying these people that like wanted to trade him a couple weeks ago.
I think that's
They're
insane.
done with him. Like, relax. And that's the thing. He's young. Like, he's still young. He's still. That's the way baseball is. Is like, it's playing bad when you're young and trying to. If this guy can figure it out, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Absolutely.
It's. Let's relax on it a little bit. Let's like that's what makes good players great players is that when they come back from things like this, like. He came up. He was clutch last year. He hit the
Right.
ball the opposite field a lot. Again, I've said it on the podcast, and I've said it multiple times, even off the record. He's got to start hitting the ball. He's got to start pulling the ball and hitting homers. But let's relax a little bit. Like,
Yep.
like,
Absolutely.
we're trading this guy already when he's played what 100 career games, like
Right.
120 career games. Like he was a number 3 pick. He was great in college. Like let's let him ease into this a little bit more.
Yeah. Exactly. You can't come out and be Nolan Arenado right away. Like that just doesn't happen.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, I agree
So.
completely.
All
And
right.
again, I'm not trying to like compare him to the greatest third baseman ever, but I'm just saying even the
Yeah,
best players
yeah,
in the
for
world,
sure.
even the best player in the
It
world,
takes time.
players in the world, right? They have their
It takes-
their stretches.
It takes time. So. All right. Ready to move on to our next topic here.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because we have a little bit of trivia. But before we get to trivia, I just want to, let everybody know out there. Obviously we do have merch. Go check that out. We have a little bit of a. Let me pull this up right here. Guys over at Drunk on Broad, rocking the fired up shirt. That looks cool. I'm not gonna lie.
It's dude, it's badass. It looks
that is.
clean. I don't have
does.
anything yet, but it looks clean.
Let me see here. Oh, also, I do want to bring this up. Hold on, let me pull up some things here because I just want like to clear the air here, right? There's obviously I want to address this big ass elephant in the room because the guys over at Drunk on Broad, I have a little bone to pick with them.
Okay.
All right. Now, is there any sort of resemblance here?
Spot on.
Apparently, guys.
It is spot on.
The guys at Drunk on Broad think I look like Clark Duke from Hot Tub Time Machine. If you're not watching live,
Sex
I just
Drive.
pulled Sex Drive, Hot Tub Time Machine. Tweeted out saying
He was in the office. Yeah.
Was he in the office?
Yeah. At the end.
I don't watch the office.
'Cause you're a flaming douche. But go
I
ahead.
just think it's overrated. But
I think you're overrated. Go ahead.
but I don't see any resemblance. I had to address the elephant in the room.
I mean, you don't look like exactly like him, but you resemble him. It's funny. He's a funny ass dude. Like,
Oh, he is absolutely.
he's a funny ass dude.
I just had to bring that up. All right, we can move on to trivia.
Oh. Wait, before we do
Go
that,
ahead.
by the way, the cell phone case is pink.
Is that
pink.
from Twitter?
Yes,
it is
it is pink.
Okay, I was okay. I mean that's fair. Okay, I was a little distracted by something else that was going on in that photo, but we'll move on here.
Yeah, okay. That's
Uh,
all right.
so we do have trivia this week. I texted you the other day saying I was going to ask you the questions. I have a little bit of a theme. Let me
Okay.
pull up my
I'm
questions
a little
here.
nervous here. That's
Um,
2 straight
so-
weeks you're asking questions, so
That's true. That's a lot of power. But because you spent the weekend in Boston, I figured I'd make this a Boston themed
wow.
trivia week. All right, I'm
Okay.
pulling out all the stops.
Okay.
All right, so I got 5 questions here. I have 1 football, 2. They're obviously they're Philly,
England,
Philly
right.
adjacent. They're Philly adjacent, but Philly and Boston. So like
Right.
they're all questions about Philadelphia as
Just
well.
fucking fly. Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say I see it flying around your
Yeah,
camera
it's just,
right now.
yeah, it's fucking crazy. Go ahead.
So I got 1 football, 1 hockey, 1 basketball, and 2 baseball.
Okay.
So I don't know which way you wanted to go first.
Surprise me.
All right, I'll just do it in order then. All right, who was the MVP of Super Bowl 39 against the Patriots?
Eli.
This is that was
Oh,
Philadelphia. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So, yeah, sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was drawing a blank. Oh, what the fuck was his name? Who was it? It should have been, fuck, the defensive back. It should have been him, but it wasn't. It was, shit. I'm trying to think of who it was because I actually saw this recently.
Did you really?
Yeah. It wasn't. It was a Branch.
It was Branch.
It was
There you
Branch,
go.
yeah.
It was Branch. Deion Branch. All
I
right,
knew it was a
we can move-
receiver. I just couldn't remember which receiver.
Right. Yeah, I forgot Deion Branch even like existed. I'll
Yeah,
be
he had a
honest.
big game.
Yeah, he was. So I'll move on to the Flyers, who in Game 7 of the 2010 Stanley Cup playoffs against the Boston Bruins, who scored the game-winning goal to complete the 3-0 series comeback?
The game-winning goal.
The game-winning goal in Game 7, yeah.
Jesus. For the Flyers.
Yep. Yeah, because that was the year that they were down 3-0 in the series, and then they were down 3-0 in Game 7 as well. They scored
Was it-
3 goals, and then this guy
Yeah.
scored in the third period.
I know
late in the
Briere
third
scored.
period.
I know Briere scored. I know Gagne scored. I think it was one of those two. I'm gonna go Gagne.
It was Gagne.
Yeah.
Look at you, 2 for 2.
I know. I think Briere tied it. Maybe.
Yeah, I forget who else scored in that game. Yeah, but
Yeah.
that whole
I think it
game,
might have
the
been
whole
Hartnell.
series was nuts.
I think
Yeah.
it was JVR, Hartnell, Briere, Gagne.
That whole series, now if David Krejci doesn't get hurt for Boston in
Yeah.
like Game 3, that series is probably over.
Lights out. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
lights out in 4.
How many times have the 76ers played the Celtics in the playoffs since 2010?
Since 2010. 3?
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 3.
Yeah.
Do you know what the results were of those?
Well, the first one was 2011,
12.
2012.
The 11-12 season, yeah.
Okay, so 2011, 2012, they lost in 7.
Yep.
The Sixers lost in 7.
Yep.
Then it was what, 2017, 18?
18, yep.
The 17-18 season, I mean.
Yep.
They lost in 5.
You're on a roll. 5.
Yeah. And then last year they lost in 4. Or
Yep,
2020
there you
they
go.
lost in 4.
Yeah,
in the bubble.
2020. Yep. Yeah, there you go. All right, so now I got the two baseball questions. So, who pitched the very first perfect game for the Red Sox in a game against the Philadelphia Athletics in 1904?
Go fuck yourself.
Well, no, it's actually like I don't want to give you the answer because I want you to think about it a little bit. It's way
Oh, it's
more
Babe Ruth.
obvious. No, it's way more obvious than you think, though.
Cy Young? I don't
Cy
fucking
Young,
know.
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, it's Cy Young, yeah.
Okay.
Just like the most famous baseball or the most famous pitcher of all
Right.
time. I just had to
They
throw that
only
one in
have a
there 'cause
little. They
'cause
only have
why
like
not?
one little award named after him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that they give the best pitcher in baseball every year.
Right. Just a little. one.
So this, he wanted me to bring this up. This was a fan submitted question.
Oh, yeah, fan my ass.
All right, so on May 25th, 2014, the Phillies were no hit by the Los Angeles Dodgers. Name the former Red Sox pitcher that no hit the Phillies.
Give me the date again.
May 25th, 2014. And he also wrote down extra point. Name the Phillies player who struck out to end the game. That was his bonus question.
Dominic Brown.
Yeah, no, it was not.
2014. Oh boy, is it like do I know the guy? Like,
Yes. I mean, he's not like like an all-time great, but you know the name, yeah, for sure.
was it? You said he was a Dodger at one point before.
Well, he was no hit. The Phillies were no hit on this day by the Dodgers. This guy before played for Boston. So he was on the Dodgers at the time. He was on the Dodgers at the time, and he played for Boston previously.
Okay, so there were no hit by the Dodgers in 14 by a guy who also played for Boston before. Okay.
Right. Turns out, I was going in depth with this. Turns out, Boston and the Red Sox and the Phillies don't meet ever at any point ever. Like, just them being in different leagues. They've never matched up in the World Series. So it was tough. I had to scrape at the bottom of the barrel for these Phillies Red Sox questions.
Right. Let's see. We don't have a ton of time here, but so he was on the Dodgers. He was a Dodgers pitcher. It wasn't like Scott Kazmir, was it?
No.
I don't know. That was my guess.
Josh Beckett.
Josh Beckett. Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't realize
Josh
he played for
Beckett.
the Dodgers.
Yeah. Yes, there you go. And then the Phillies player who struck out the end of the game was Chase Utley. I don't remember that
Okay.
no hitter at all, but there
Neither
you go.
do I.
Yeah. Well, all right. Let's move on to the Eagles.
So I was 4 for
They-
5. Let everybody know.
Listen, you are a lot better than I am at trivia. I'm not gonna
We all
lie.
knew that, but
Well, yeah, it's not really hard to do. All right, so we're moving on to the Eagles. First preseason game was last Thursday against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They lost 24-16, but like, does anybody really count scores and whatnot in preseason? What was your overall makeup of the game? I mean, it's just exciting. Football's back. We have a football game to talk about.
yeah, man, it was I was waiting all week.
Yep.
It was exciting to get football back, but some sloppy play, some great plays. The name we keep bringing up, Quez Watkins. I think Jalen Hurts didn't look tremendous. What was he like?
I don't
3
think he
for
looked bad
7?
though. Yeah, I don't think he looked. I mean, he had a couple
missed
drops.
2 throws. He missed 2
Yeah.
throws.
Yeah,
The deep
but
ball,
like,
the deep ball he missed.
yeah, I don't know if he missed, if that was missed.
It was overthrown, in my
a
opinion.
little bit, but Watkins also I think got bumped on his way to the route.
It's hard to throw over that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you know my feelings on Hurts, but
Yeah.
I'm also very open to him too. To me, he missed the throw.
Okay.
And then the other one was the Rager, throw Rager on the sideline. He should have caught it, but it was still a terrible throw.
Right.
But you're just kind of hoping that maybe like you're just kind of hoping that these guys don't fall back into the drops, because Ertz on third down dropped.
Yep.
Which he also missed. I think it was Rager who was going deep on the sideline, wide open. So
Right.
it's a drop. It stings, but like it also stings that you had a guy wide open. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it was definitely not the start I was hoping for. But again, it's preseason. We got 2 more of these. He's probably going to play 1 more, but let's just hope he starts to figure it out a little bit going into the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, it's preseason. That's where you work out the kinks, right?
Right.
So
It's the kinks for everybody. It's the kinks, working out the kinks for the players, the coaches, the refs. Like So
absolutely. But I mean, Joe Flacco I actually thought looked decent too. Like,
Did you
he's
see-
bad?
Did you see? I think it was either the Athletic or it was one of those stupid like big time sites or whatever. They tweeted out like Joe Flacco coming for QB1 with the eye emojis after he threw the
That-
screen.
Well, the screen to Watkins and Watkins
Yeah.
and everything else. That can't be like a serious.
It was dead serious.
Headline.
No, it was dead serious.
That's not like a tongue in cheek, like
No.
sarcastic.
Look it up
that's
right now.
Well, I hate the Athletic. I think
It's not the
I
Athletic.
just-
It's
okay. Well, I still hate the Athletic. That fly's
Yeah.
still buzzing around your head.
Yeah, I know.
But okay. Well, I still am not a huge fan of the Athletic. Let's just let that be known.
Right.
But yeah, where
I
I
forget
mean,
who it was. I know it wasn't the Athletic. It wasn't Sports Illustrated. It was some one of those.
probably like a Bleacher Report. or
Bleacher
something
Report.
Like
That's what it was.
What is that? Is that who it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
It
Yeah,
said Joe
that's-
Flacco coming for QB1 with eye emojis, and I just wanted
Yeah.
to like, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and even if they were kidding, I hope whoever wrote that gets fired.
it's a little harsh.
Nah, I don't care.
I mean, listen, yeah, that's a dumb thing to say. I mean, all he did was throw the ball, a little screen, and Quez Watkins turned on the Jets and
I
ran
could throw that ball.
79 yards or whatever it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my fucking grandma can throw that ball.
Dude, Watkins has impressed me. Like he seems legit, honestly.
Did you see any of the footage from practice today?
No, I didn't.
From Monday. So the Patriots are in town for the week. They're practicing with the Eagles. Again, one-on-one, I said it last week, one-on-one drills are made for the receiver.
Yeah.
It's tough to be a cornerback and stopping every play one-on-one. He torched J.C. Jackson like twice today.
Did he really?
Yeah, on a deep ball and on it was like a 5-and-cut or like whatever you call it. I don't even know the play call, but he and J.C. Jackson was rated as a top 10 corner last year.
Right.
Coming into this year. Dude, he's got good footwork like Quez Watkins. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and say he's cute. He's our wide receiver too. Like I'm not gonna go into the season thinking that. I want to see it in the regular season before I sit here and say, oh, this guy's the next DeAndre Hopkins or this guy's the next
Tyreek.
or
It's probably a
like,
better comparison. If you want to talk
is-
speed.
Well, I'm talking about more about like a 5th-round pick panning out.
Right. Okay.
So like Tyreek Hill is one of them. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And the speed part.
Right.
But also like Diggs. Diggs was like a 6th-round pick. So like 2 top 5 receivers right there.
Right. Yep.
So like I'm not gonna sit here and say that he's that guy yet because I want to see it in the regular season. I want to see it for a full season. But it's exciting, man. It's a lot of fun. It's hopeful.
Yeah.
It's hopeful.
And he could turn on the Jets. Like he's fast. You
Yeah,
gotta look.
he goes
He's a
from
fast
0 to
killer.
100.
Did you hear that?
No, I didn't.
He's the fastest kid alive.
Yeah, super bad. He's the fastest kid alive. Yeah.
Exactly. That's my new class. When I saw him turn on the Jets for that touchdown, I was like, that's exactly what it reminded me of. He's blatant speed. Like and the cornerback had like a read on him too. Like it looked like he was gonna get caught, and then Watkins just blew right past him.
Yeah, he hit another gear.
Yep, absolutely.
He's the fastest kid alive.
He's the fastest kid alive.
There you go. Yep. I could recite that whole movie, but
It's one of the greatest movies
it's
ever. I
probably
don't-
my third
yeah.
favorite comedy of all time. I
No,
got
no,
lists.
man.
I got lists.
Well, hold on.
I've got lists.
Now I gotta ask, what are 1 and 2?
The Hangover's number 1, and
You put
number
the Hangover over
2,
Superbad. Like I liked Hangover. I don't know if it's above Superbad for me.
They were both when they both came out. They were not. You weren't expecting either of them to be as funny as they were.
That's fair.
Um,
Well, I also think the Hangover lost a little bit of luster when they came out with the second and third one because I don't think they were. all
both
that good.
hilarious. I thought they were both
Well,
hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But what's number 2?
I would have to say. Guess what? It might be number 2, but I think it's number 2 and Step Brothers
Step
is number
Brothers.
3.
Okay.
And then you have like classics like My Cousin Vinny. That's
I was
in
just about
there.
to say. My cousin Vinny and Superbad go back and forth on my list of 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I mean, I look. I got a list, but we're a sports podcast, so we're gonna try to stay away from that.
Yeah. One day we'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll create a list of best comedies.
Okay.
He's the fastest kid alive.
So, all right.
We're gonna
so
play that
let's
all
move-
season. We're gonna play that all season
That's it.
for Quez Watkins.
That's it. I have it saved, and anytime he does something good, that's all
He's
we're
the
gonna
fastest kid alive.
If we come in after a game where he had a big game, that's how we're starting the show off after the intro.
He's the fastest kid alive.
hear.
We're just gonna keep playing it. The
Just
fastest
that
kid
on
alive.
repeat.
The
I'll
fastest
just put
kid-
it.
yeah. Yep.
I'll just put it on a loop. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to stick with the offense though. Like, it seems, and obviously it's just one preseason game, and obviously we love to overreact on on the smallest game, right, the smallest scale. But like it seems like this is going to be a very tight end heavy offense. Like you had, I think every pass in the first quarter or first half, I forget what it was to a tight end. So it just seems like a tight end heavy offense at this point. Like that's kind of what they're going to do with between Goddard, Ertz. Ertz looks really good, other than the 1 third down drop.
Right.
And then even Rodgers, I thought looked decent. So just all around, I mean, it's going to be a real tight end heavy offense.
Well, they're saying that who's this other tight end? The quarterback.
I just had it. I forget.
I forget his name off the top of my head, but he's even making a push to be wide tight end 3. So like, I don't know. Richard Rodgers has his work cut out for him, but like you said it a couple weeks ago, it's all going to depend on Jalen Hurts. It's all going to depend on what he does and how he plays and how he runs the offense and if he can hit the right guys at the right time with the accuracy. Because like you just said, the offense can be lethal. Honestly, if the receivers pan out, if Watkins pans out,
Tyree Jackson, is that who you're talking about?
Tyree Jackson, yeah.
Yeah.
If the receivers pan out like Fulgham and Smith and Rager and Watkins and both tight ends stay healthy and the offensive line stays healthy and Sanders stays healthy, I mean it's a lot of guys to try to stay healthy, but
yeah.
But yeah, I mean this offense
on a team that on a team that notoriously has injuries like all the time.
Right. It's in the water. But
yeah.
yeah, like you're saying, like the offense can be very, very, very good. It's just all going to depend, like you said a couple weeks ago, all going to depend on how Jalen Hurts plays.
Yep, absolutely.
The defense definitely scares me a little bit, though.
Yeah, like the thing is, we don't really see much from the starters on defense. Like they're there for a drive or two. I didn't really see much of Slay, much of Nelson. I'll tell you what, the first couple of drives, I thought the defensive line, and maybe we should expect that because I think this is going to be a very good offensive line. They looked really good.
Right.
They were getting in real quick.
Even though they looked really good, I don't even think I think Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox really kind of like half-assed preseason every year.
Probably.
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
That's probably true.
So if they're half-assing it and they look pretty decent, like that's something to look forward to.
But even guys like Milton Williams, I thought like showed power and explosiveness. You know what I mean? That's a rookie, so I don't know how much really expecting out of him, but I thought he looked decent.
Look, it goes back to what I said a couple weeks ago too. Josh Sweat, like I think Josh Sweat has the ability to be really good. It's just staying healthy.
Yep.
If the defensive line stays healthy, maybe they do make noise. Maybe they do get that. What was it, 6.5? Maybe they do get over 6.5 wins.
Right. Yeah.
So, I think the offense, as long as Jalen Hurts plays decent, I think the offense will be fine. It's just worrying about the defense, and I'm excited to kind of see more of it on Thursday.
I actually thought Singleton didn't look that bad. I mean, I thought he's had a decent camp so far. He looked solid in the time we saw him. He played a little longer. I think he played the first half, if I remember correctly. And I've grilled Singleton on this podcast multiple times. So I think he's been horrible the last couple of years.
I think he was great last year. Not great, but I thought he had he was their best linebacker, and like he made some big
but that's not saying much. That's like the Phillies winning the NL East. Like
no, it's not. It's not saying a lot, but it's not saying a lot, but it's he's still playing well. Like he's still playing well enough. Like he still looks like an NFL linebacker to me. I mean, he had a solo tackle, didn't he?
Yeah. No, he looked good. He's showing a little bit of speed. He's showing a little range too, which I like. Like he's covering ground quick,
right?
Which I like. But like overall, I think like, and it's probably way too early to tell if Sirianni's going to be a coach or not. But like just from watching the first actual game, it seems like they were like legitimately prepared. They had a game plan. Yeah. The players looked prepared to play, and I don't know how much we could say that. In the last couple of years of Doug Peterson.
Right. Yeah. I agree. Another guy on the defensive side that I thought looked, he made a nice play. The safety Harris.
Yep.
I think his name. Yeah. He had a pass breakup on third down, or maybe not a bit of pass breakup, but it was the running back was going to catch the ball, and he came back and hit him from the back, and I think it was third down.
I think I remember the player talking about. It was early in the game, right? I think it was the first quarter, yeah.
First or second drive, yeah.
Yeah. But onto the running backs. So Miles Sanders didn't play. They announced after the game that there's no injury. We've seen him. We know what he is. What do you take away from that quote?
You're hitting me on fresh on the spot here.
You didn't read the. You didn't read the doc?
No, I did, but I guess I put it in later, didn't you?
No, I put that in earlier.
Say it again.
So Miles Sanders didn't play. So after the game, they asked him, was it an injury, whatever, blah blah blah. Sirianni said, "There's no injury. We've seen him play. We know what he is."
No, I didn't see that on there. But
You didn't see that? Okay.
no. I mean, I guess if he's a guy that is injury prone, why risk it?
Right.
He's gonna be their 1-2 down guy. So would it be nice to see him? Yeah, but like we do know what he is. So like,
Yeah, that's true.
I'm kind of okay with that, I guess.
Yeah, especially like we've said it in the past. There's gonna be an interesting battle for the roster when it comes to like that fourth running back spot. So maybe it's just a sense of like, well, we know he's a running back one. We don't want to, running back is a demanding position. Like
Right.
we don't want to beat up by week 13. We have an important, battle somewhere else down the roster. Let's get more of a,
More touches
book
to
or
Johnson
right,
and-
yeah,
Right.
get more looks somewhere else to see what what we want to do with the fourth spot. So yeah, I mean that's possible.
Right.
I imagine. I imagine we'll see him at some point, like during the preseason, because you don't want him completely, fresh and new going into week 1. So I imagine we'll see him at some point.
I'm kind of anticipating who's going to play Thursday and how long. Because I think Brandon Brooks only played the first drive. Like you said,
Yep.
Sanders, if we get to see him, how long Hurts is going to play. Because I'd like to try to see them. Like now there's only 3 preseason games. You have to imagine that like the third game, nobody's going to play. So like,
Yeah,
I'd like to try
right.
to see at least a quarter and a half maybe of this offense. Maybe not Brooks, but Hurts and Ertz and Goddard and the receivers definitely. So
Do you-
and like
well,
you said, Sanders.
That brings me on my next question, like because you brought up the receivers. If he can play, would you want to see Devontae Smith in the preseason or just hold him out till week 1?
Selfishly, yes, but probably not.
Yeah, I think it's the right answer.
I mean, he would have. If it's the regular season, he wouldn't miss any time.
Right.
Maybe he misses a week, maybe, but I don't know. I don't know. It's a tough call. I'd probably sit him though. I probably wouldn't play him. I don't
Yeah.
think they're gonna play him. So.
Yeah,
that's
I don't think
probably-
so
that's probably
either.
What I do.
Yeah, I think it's fair. And again, you want to see more from like Rager because like I don't know what's going on with Rager. I mean, it's only his second year, obviously, right? So like things can improve for him, but it's got to get better.
Yeah, he's had an up and down training camp. The things I've
Yeah.
read is he had a bad day, he had a good day, had a bad day, a good day. I mean, I think if these other receivers kind of start to pan out a little bit, he'll play better too. I think that, and it's only been one game with Sirianni in this offense, so like we haven't really seen much of this yet. But like I think that they have to start running plays that suit him, which they didn't do last year. Like they never threw screens to him last year. They made him go deep, like here and there. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if you remember the
Yeah.
first game last year, week 1 against the Redskins. I think Wentz overthrew him a little bit. Or no, it was a deep pass. He caught the deep pass. It was like 70 yards, and you didn't see it the rest of the year. So it's like the things that were working last year, they went away from, and like I kind of want to see them build plays around him.
And they might like.
I want to see his strength. I want to see the
Right.
things that I want to see his strengths played out. Like
And I wonder
the
if-
screen passes
Right.
and the short 5-yard bumps and the 5-yard butt hooks and and going deep and
That's what he did in
you know,
college.
I just right. That's what made him a
Yeah.
first round pick. So
Right.
I just want to see the offense run around certain plays run around these guys, like executed. I want to see them actually called. I want to see them,
Yeah, but,
do
like,
these things that
pre-
he's drafted these guys for.
Right, but preseason is like notoriously like very light, I guess, for lack of a better term, in the
Yeah,
sense of like
it's black
you don't
and
want to
white.
show your
It's
hand.
black and white.
Yeah, you don't want to show your hand.
Right.
You don't want to, have the rest of the league have the book on you for games that don't matter. So we
No,
could
no,
see
yeah,
those
yeah.
things come week 1.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not getting down on Rager yet. I want to see if this offense can build their playbook around his strengths.
Right.
It's not going to come in the preseason. It's a very black and white playbook in the preseason.
Yep.
It's very basic things in the preseason.
Absolutely.
So, you're not going to see, and you're going to see plays that you see week 1 that you're not going to see in week 12, and vice versa. They're going to come up with new plays come week 12. So, like,
Right.
it's going to expand, it's going to advance, and but it's not just him either. It's I want to see them continue to draw up plays for Watkins that fit his strengths, and Goddard and Ertz and Fulgham. Like I think I said it last week or the week before. Like Jeffrey came back and Fulgham just disappeared after he was having a really good season for an undrafted rookie, like an
Right.
undrafted or not rookie, but an undrafted wide receiver. Like why did we go away from it for a guy that didn't want to be out there, and B was coming off an injury? Like I just want to see them draw up plays. Like they drafted, I want to see them draw up plays for these guys in the right way, and they drafted a guy like J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, who in college he was known to be the jump ball guy in the red zone. They drafted a guy for an offense that never does that.
Right.
They never do that kind of stuff. So like I just want to see them draw up plays for the guys.
Yeah, they really didn't even do. I mean, I know occasionally they didn't really do it for Alshon Jeffrey, and that was like
They
his
didn't.
thing either. That was
Right.
that was his thing. And they never did it to him either. So
Exactly, and you're right. It's right. You bring in a guy that you don't even do his specialty, but Jeffrey could do way more than that.
he
or
could,
AJ
yeah, absolutely,
can't.
yeah.
So it's not as big of a deal, but I definitely hear what you're saying. I agree.
So, any other takeaways from that game? I mean, we got another game coming up Thursday against the Patriots, right? Is that who they got? I think
Yeah,
on Thursday.
Patriots,
Yeah. So we'll see what happens then. Again, hopefully we see more of the offense. I don't expect the whole half, but maybe at a quarter. I
Right.
think that's all I'm asking for at this point. Because Hurts played 2 drives, I think, right? So
Yeah, it's 2 drives. Yep.
yeah. So hopefully we see a little more of him.
Right. I'd like to see a quarter and a half. If it was a whole first half, I'd be okay with that too, to be honest. But selfishly, I do want to see at least a quarter and a half.
Do you have any worries of him taking hits in preseason? Like, because he took a couple hard ones. He got rid of the ball, but maybe a second too late where he took a hit he didn't necessarily have to take.
I mean, sure, but that's any quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you feel that way about any quarterback, whether it's Tom Brady or Peyton Manning, if that's your quarterback. You know what I mean?
Right.
But he seems like a tough kid. You never want to see your quarterback take those hits, but for the black and white answer, yes. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
you're
want to
right.
see that, but
Yeah.
or for the obvious answer, but
Right. But he seems like he's making smart decisions with the football. Like he knows when to get rid of it. He doesn't, at least so far that we've seen, he doesn't make dumb decisions and turn the ball over as much as he
Well-
probably could. And
I don't know that yet though, because it was one play in the preseason. Like I said, the Ertz drop on third down, he had a wide open guy running down the sideline. But even in they said he looked terrible today in practice. Like he threw a couple
Really?
picks. Yeah, he's having trouble in the red zone. Like it's a little worrisome. Again, it's training camp. It's the preseason. We'll see when it matters the most. We'll see what he can do. He might
Yeah,
be
'cause, I
totally
mean,
different. I don't
right.
know.
Well, we've said it before. Like this season rides on Jalen Hurts. So if he's not right, then they got issues. Because like Joe Flacco's not taking him anywhere. Like,
Right. Well,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean by issues, but I don't expect them to be great. So if they go 4 whatever the record would be, 4-12 or whatever, or 4-13, I guess is with the
Yeah,
new
there you go.
schedule.
Yep.
But I honestly, that's not the worst thing in the world, because then you need to get a new quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah.
don't expect them to be a Super Bowl team this year. So like, it's just as important going 4-13 as it is going 13-4. Like, you need to know what you have, and if you don't have it in them, then you go out and you trade for a quarterback. Or you go next year. You go out and sign a quarterback. You go out and draft a quarterback. Whatever it is.
Right.
it's very important whether they go 4-13 or 13-4.
One last question before we wrap this up. Would you have any interest in bringing in Deshaun Watson at this point?
I mean, it's my answer is probably the same as it was 2 weeks ago when we talked about this. Probably not, because
Okay.
I'm seeing things that look. He's a great quarterback, and I'd love to have him, and I think he could win you a Super Bowl, but I don't think anything's gonna happen until the spring. Like I was reading things that said like
It's wild. Like the NFL's
settlement's
not even
probably
gonna,
not.
the NFL's not
No.
going to give him suspension or anything. Nothing at all
No,
until
I
this
mean,
legal
it's just
part's settled.
Yeah, I mean it's just allegations at this point. I mean the stories are terrible,
Yep.
but right now it's just allegations, and when you go to court and you settle, it becomes more than allegations. So I read something that said like it's not gonna really start until the spring of next
wild.
year. So I don't think he plays at all this year. I don't think he suits up at all this year. But that's the issues you have is even if he can suit up and play and you trade for him, you're gonna give up all this capital, all this draft capital, all this talent
Right.
or possible talent to have him for a year and then him go to jail next year as a possibility, or
Right.
him make a settlement and be suspended for 4 to 8 to a whole season. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yep.
So like it's tough. It's really tough. I just think they should stay away from it. I really do.
Okay. Yeah, I don't hate
And
that.
that, even ethically, I think they should.
Yeah, I don't hate that answer. I'm somewhere right there too. I agree.
It sucks because he's a great quarterback and you want him on the team, but not if he's a like scumbag. Like
Oh
I
yeah,
just-
no, absolutely. No, I don't disagree.
we got some baseball breaking news.
I was just about to say that as well.
There you
yeah.
go. You go for it.
Apparently they're going to keep this Field of Dreams thing. Is that the thing you're talking about?
Yep.
Okay. Apparently they're keeping the Field of Dreams game in 2022. The Cubs and the Reds will square off in that matchup next year. So there you go.
It's a really
A
bad
little bit of
matchup,
breaking
but-
news. I wonder if they're, because Iowa's so close to like Chicago, and Chicago's obviously a big market, if they're going to try to keep like Chicago teams in it. Like you saw the White Sox this year,
Right.
the Cubs next year. Like I wonder if they're going to try to keep that in. Even Cincinnati's a little closer, close to Iowa in that geographical sense. So I wonder if they're trying to keep it, up
Well,
near that area.
Yeah, and I'll say it that this like remember a couple years ago they did a little league
Yep.
games or whatever. Like the Phillies had it. The Phillies played the Mets, and then I think the Pirates played the Cardinals or something the year after.
Right.
It's
Yep.
way better than that. That was
Oh, absolutely.
That was
I don't even
boring,
remember
that was
watching it. I don't think I
terrible.
watched it.
Yeah, it was not good.
Yeah.
So like they finally found something that will
However,
bring in the views.
my only issue, maybe not issue, but my only concern is if you do this every year, that could water it down. You know what I mean? Maybe,
What do you mean?
if you do it every year, maybe it loses its luster, right? Maybe it's not as interesting the third, fourth, fifth year you do it because like we've seen it before. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it'll be fun going in the next year. Let's see how next year goes. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying though.
Because like you look at like hockey, like I'm a big hockey fan, right? Obviously, when they brought in the Winter Classic, it was like the coolest thing in the world, right? And it's still a cool atmosphere, but like I feel like they have 4 or 5 outdoor games every year,
Right.
right? So
So,
I
it waters
feel like
down,
it's not
for
as special, right?
sure. For sure. I hear you.
So, did you want to break down the AFC, or do you want to save that for next week?
That's up to you. I mean, I don't. We're what, about an hour 13 in, so
Hour 13, yeah.
yeah. So it's up to you.
We can break it down real quick.
Okay.
That's fine. I did forget about that in the doc. So, who were your favorites coming out of the AFC?
So I got a list of like a couple weeks ago when we did the NFC. I got my top teams. I got my good teams. I got my on the cusp, and I got my flat out stink.
Okay.
So my top teams, I think it's 3 teams. The Chiefs, the Bills, and the Titans. I think.
Okay.
I think the Titans are probably the third on that list, but obviously the Chiefs and the Bills are. We were in Boston. We actually met a Bills fan. It was this girl. She brought like a Bills cozy or whatever to to the
She
bar.
part
and
of the
she was
Bills.
like-
She part of the Bills Mafia.
She is. So I was like talking to her. I was like, "Oh, are you from Buffalo?" She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Go Bills." So every single time I walked by, I was like, "Go Bills!" And she would go Bills. um, but yeah. I mean, she said some like crazy things about Josh Allen. I can't really repeat here. But
Now I'm curious.
you know, well, first she said to me, she said, I'm such a big Bill. She was really drunk, and I was too. But she was like,
Yeah, obviously.
she was like, how many Bills fans do you know that bring a Cosi to the bar? And I said, hun, I don't know any Bills fans, so I don't know what like I don't have an answer for you. So
What did she say? Well, you could say it. What did she say about Josh Allen?
that she'd take him into a room and absolutely fuck the like brains out of
Okay.
him. Yeah.
Okay.
It was
Yeah.
not. It was a lot.
I'm sure it was
worse
a
than that.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
and
fine.
I said, hey, I probably would too, but
Right. Hey, to each their own, right?
right. No, but she was super cool. Her friend was from like Long Island or whatever, and she was a Giants fan. So like I was like, fuck Eli, fuck the Giants, fuck Tyree, fuck Lawrence Taylor. I was like, fuck New York. And then she was like, fuck the Eagles. She's like, you don't even have a quarterback. She's like, you can't even figure that out. And I was like, you got me there. But we were going back and forth. We were like, I was like, fuck the Mets. She was like, yeah, fuck the Mets. I'm a Yankees fan. And I was like, fuck the Rangers. And she was like, whoa. She was like, whoa. I was like, no, fuck the Rangers. And then the girl from Buffalo, I was like, we're gonna fucking I cursed a lot. I was like, we're gonna take Jack Eichel from you, bitch. Like, it was crazy.
It's aggressive.
Okay, so anyway, back to the AFC.
the Titans. So you have the Titans winning the AFC South.
Yes.
Did that change when the Carson Wentz news went down, or did you
No.
always have the Titans above the Colts?
No, I had the Titans above. Their offense is unbelievable.
Yeah, especially now you add Julio to it.
Right. Julio, another year of AJ Brown.
Right.
Derrick Henry. I don't think Henry does what he did last year.
That
But,
that was stupid what he did last year.
Yeah, it just wasn't real.
Yeah.
We live in a simulation.
Right.
So, but yeah, I got the Chiefs, Bills, Titans at the top. The Colts, I think, could win the wild card, one of the wild card spots. But they're actually on my list of good teams. So these are the teams that I think can get in, because there are other spots that have to fill for the playoffs. So we got the Browns, the Steelers, and let me say about the Steelers, I love the overs. I think it was 8.5. Like I actually might take that for wins this year. I don't know if they win 12
8.5.
games. But like,
I have to look at their schedule. 8.5. That's our over under the Steelers.
yeah, it's like it's like plus, I think plus one something, 150 or 120. So
I have to
it's
look at their schedule.
it's like 25 wins you 55 or something. So
Right.
I
That's
might
interesting.
fire that in. So yeah, I got the Browns, the Steelers, and the Steelers. You know, you gotta kind of worry a little bit about Big Ben this year. So
Yep. But like
You know-
a year ago, they were what 14-0 or 13-0 before they
right,
They had a rough few games. I forget
yeah,
what
they lost like
exactly
the last
they ended up
3
being.
games, including the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they were 13-0, and then they lost three, and then a fourth, or was it 14-2?
I
forget
don't
what it was.
remember. I do know they lost the last game of the year, which they didn't play anybody. But then they played the Browns, I think, the last week last year, and then they played them in the playoffs the following week, and they talked shit and got beat.
So who do you have? Who do
ahead.
you have winning the AFC North then? The obviously
Steelers.
tosses between. Okay, so you do have the
Yeah,
Steelers. I know you mentioned the Browns in there as well. So
Yeah, no, I got the Steelers winning the North, AFC North. I have the Browns, who could be a wild card, and just like last year, the Ravens as well. I have them on the good team list. I don't love the Ravens like everybody else does, but they're a good fantasy football team. Like I guess Lamar
Yeah.
Jackson's okay. Mark Andrews is
a
here and
rough
there.
year last year.
Yeah.
Lamar had a rough year last year. So.
I like Dobbins, fantasy wise.
Okay.
But yeah, so I got the Browns, the Steelers, the Ravens on the good list. I got the Colts and the Patriots. I don't know if I think the Patriots are going to be good. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs, but we'll see. I
Right.
think they're better than they are last year. Made a lot of moves. So,
Or was that the Patriots you said?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like their quarterback still Cam Newton. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't really.
It might not be.
They didn't really
week,
just.
It might not be week 8 or 9. So
Who was it? Who,
Mac
who else they have?
Jones.
I forgot they drafted him. Yeah.
I don't know how good he could be the
Right.
next Brady. He could be the next Chad Henne. I don't know. Like,
Right.
I definitely
Then
didn't
did-
think I was gonna say his name today, but
Check.
when I woke up this morning.
No, I bet you didn't.
But
That's
yeah,
funny.
so like I said, I got the Browns, the Steelers, the Ravens, the Colts, and the Patriots, who I think are good teams.
Right.
I think the Patriots might be on like that on the cusp, good team, kind of like you could put them on either side. But on the cusp, I have the Raiders, the Chargers. I love the Chargers this year.
Okay.
I think the I think the Jaguars and the Dolphins are kind of on the cusp, and then I think the Jets are like on the stink but on the cusp list.
On the cusp of what?
Of
On the
of-
cusp
of-
being mediocre,
Right? Yeah, no. I think they're
Okay.
on the cusp of from
getting
stink
out of
to-
the basement.
Right,
Yeah, I
right.
gotcha, I
Getting
gotcha.
a new era. I don't know how good this quarterback's going to be. I don't know how good this coach is going to be. The defense is nice.
I really like Will
They
Wilson.
brought in some receivers.
I really like Zach Wilson's mentality. I'll tell you that. Did you hear his quotes after his practice a couple weeks ago?
I might have. if you
So
remind me.
it was, I forget what exact drill they were doing. I think they were doing like a 2-minute drill type thing, and he threw an interception in it. And he was asked about it, like after the practice was over. He was asked about like why he made that throw, like you're struggling, what's the deal? And he essentially said that, well, like, listen, this is practice. Like I'm right now I'm trying to figure out what I can and can't get away with.
Right.
If we're in a game, maybe I don't make that throw, but I made that throw. I see if I get away with it. I couldn't. Well, now I know I can't.
Right.
Like to me, it's a mature, real answer that you just don't hear quarterbacks make.
Yeah, no, I like that. I again, I don't know how good he's going to be, but you definitely like to hear those kind of things, especially
Yeah.
from a rookie, a kid.
Right. Yep.
But yeah, I think a good season for them is like 7 wins. So like, can they get 7 wins? Possibly. Can they get 3 wins and that's it? Possibly. Like I
Right.
don't know. So that's why I have them on like the maybe on the cusp of rising up. They're not going to make the playoffs, but
Right.
because I think they're still the 4th worst team in that division. I think they're the 4th team in the division.
Yeah.
But like I said, the Broncos, the Jags, and the Dolphins are on the bottom of the cusp.
Well, the Denver just needs a quarterback. Like once they figure that out, I think they'll be
Yeah.
decent. You know.
Yeah. They're saying Judy looks unbelievable in practice.
I bet he does.
KJ Hamler can just fly.
Yep.
They have so many receivers. Cortland Sutton, like they're gonna have to trade somebody, but
And they have a decent run game. I mean, you have
yeah.
so Melvin Gordon, and then who was their backup? I forget who they have.
I
I'm drawing
don't know off
blank
the
on
top
his
of my
name.
head.
Royce Freeman, he might still be there.
No, I think they cut him last
Did
year.
they cut him?
Yeah.
They had a good core of running backs last year. I do remember that. I don't remember who's still on the team, but they need a quarterback. Once they figure out quarterback, I think they'll be good. But
Yeah, because both of their quarterbacks stink.
stink.
So,
Yeah.
Locke and Bridgewater, but
Right. Yeah, they both stink.
I don't know if you saw any of Trevor Lawrence, but he looked really good for the Jags in the preseason.
Did he?
First game. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the Dolphins, again, it's going to come down to Tua. They have a good defense, a nice defense. They drafted Waddle. They have Parker, who just can't stay. I'm a fan of Devontae Parker, but he just can't stay healthy.
Right.
So when he is healthy, he's very good. So, teams like the Jets and the Dolphins, it's all going to depend on the young quarterback. They have good offense. Both teams have really good offensive lines. So it's all going to depend on the decision making of the quarterback.
Right.
And then I have 2 teams on my absolutely stink list.
Okay.
One of them's obvious. It's the Texans.
Yeah.
They might not win 2 games this year if Watson doesn't play.
Even
then-
if Watson does play, like I
They
think
might
he's
they might not even get 5 wins if he
right.
plays.
Like like he's got talent, but he hasn't shown me that he could be like a winner in this league. Because every time he plays, they win 4 or 5 games. Like
Right.
that's just what they are, even with him. So without him, yeah, they might not win 2.
Right.
Like
So I got the Texans and then the Bengals. I think the Bengals flat out stink too. I love Joe Burrow, but the offensive line. Like I'm a big Burrow fan. I hate Ohio State, but I am a big. Oh no, he went from Ohio State to LSU.
LSU,
Right.
yeah.
But still, I was a big fan of the LSU team. I love Joe Burrow. I think he's going to be very good.
And you got
But the problem-
you got Jamar Chase now.
Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd,
Yep.
who's the T Higgins.
Yep.
I just think that their defense sucks ass,
And
I
their
think
offensive
their
line
offensive
stinks.
line sucks ass.
Yep.
Like major ass.
They didn't address it at all, and that's the reason your quarterback had his
got
knee
hurt.
mangled up. Yeah.
Right.
So,
So, like I said, love Burrow, love the receivers, hate everything else about them. Oh, and the running back is good too, but yeah, they just
If-
didn't do what they had to do this
dude,
this
if
draft.
they
so.
figure out that offensive line, like their offense could be scary.
They just play in a really hard division.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think all three of those teams can make the playoffs this year. So like, but going forward, maybe I think they're going to be a good team in 2 or 3 years if they continue to draft. If they draft right,
right. Well, yeah, you're gonna have to address the offensive line like at some point. You just have
offensive
to.
line and defense.
Right.
So
Yep.
I think the Bengals, the Texans, the Lions are all going to be like top 5 picks this year.
Yeah, the Lions are
Draft.
terrible. Lions are gonna
And we
be
talked
awful.
about them a couple weeks ago. But
Yep. Absolutely.
but that's all I got for the AFC.
All right. Yeah, sounds like a good breakdown. We got a few more weeks left. I think 3 or 4 weeks until the Eagles play week 1. So we're almost there. We got our
I am waiting.
right. What's
And then-
today's,
and then,
what's today's date? The 16th.
The 16th.
So in 10 days we have our fantasy draft with Drunk on Broad with the podcast league. It's all around.
I
Just
was
excited for football.
Just about to say that. Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So there you
Just
go.
about to say that. We got the draft next week. The week after that, it's the week leading into Labor Day. That's college football.
Yep.
Labor Day weekend, and then the following weekend is it, man. We're
That's
here.
it. That's it.
We're here.
So we will be back next week to break down the Patriots game that happens on Thursday with a bunch more news. Maybe switching to the Flyers real quick. Maybe they'll have news about Travis Sanheim. We'll see. Maybe we'll talk about that next week as well. So
And hopefully, we got a couple Phillies wins here
yeah,
to break down.
they need to get this right and compete and try to win this division. So we're gonna get out of here. Follow us everywhere you get podcasts: Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, at Fired Up Podcast everywhere. And we will see you guys next week.
He's the fastest man alive.
He's the fastest kid alive.
Fastest kid alive.